In the heart of Manhattan's most exclusive clubs, where millionaires sip champagne and discuss million-dollar art deals, there was a woman who commanded respect without ever showing a bank statement. She stayed in five-star hotels, threw lavish parties, and rubbed shoulders with celebrities, all while being completely broke. This is the story of Anna Delvey, the fake German heiress who convinced New York's elite she was worth 60 million euros, when in reality, she was the daughter of a Russian truck driver with nothing more than audacity and a perfectly crafted lie. What makes someone believe they can walk into the most exclusive spaces in New York City and convince everyone they belong there? Anna Sorokin, who reinvented herself as Anna Delvey, didn't just dream of wealth. She lived it, breathed it, and made everyone around her believe she owned it. For 4 years, from 2013 to 2017, she pulled off one of the most audacious cons in modern history, defrauding banks, hotels, and wealthy socialites out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. But here's what makes this story truly fascinating. Anna didn't just steal money, she stole an entire identity, a lifestyle, and the respect of people who had everything she wanted. Today, we're diving deep into the mind of a master manipulator, exploring how a working-class girl from Russia became Manhattan's most infamous fake heiress. Let's start at the beginning. Anna Sorokin was born on January 23, 1991, in Domodedovo, a working-class satellite town south of Moscow. Her father, Vadim, drove trucks for a living, while her mother ran a small convenience store. This was as far from luxury as you could get in post-Soviet Russia. When Anna was 16, her family made a life-changing move to Germany, settling in North Rhine-Westphalia. Her father managed to land a job as an executive at a transport company, but the family was still firmly middle class. Anna attended a Catholic grammar school where classmates described her as quiet and struggling with the German language. But something was different about Anna. While other teenagers were worried about homework and social media, Anna was obsessively studying fashion magazines, particularly Vogue. She spent hours on LiveJournal and Flickr, analyzing the lifestyles of the wealthy and powerful. She wasn't just looking at pretty pictures, she was studying a blueprint for transformation. After graduating in 2011, Anna briefly attended Central St. Martin's Art School in London, but quickly dropped out. She returned to Germany, worked at a Berlin PR firm, then made her way to Paris, where she landed an internship at Purple, a prestigious French fashion magazine. She was earning just 400 euros per month, but her parents were helping with rent. It was during this time that Anna made a crucial decision. She adopted the surname Delvey, claiming it was based on her mother's maiden name. Her parents later said they had never heard of this surname. This wasn't just a name change, it was the birth of an entirely new person. In mid-2013, Anna Delvey arrived in New York City for Fashion Week, and something clicked. She found it easier to make connections in New York than in Paris, so she decided to stay, briefly transferring to Purple's New York office. But working for a magazine wasn't going to give her the lifestyle she craved. Anna had a vision. The Anna Delvey Foundation, a private members club and art foundation that would rival anything Manhattan had to offer. Her plan was audacious: lease the entire Church Missions House, a massive 45,000 square foot building with 6 floors, owned by real estate mogul Abai Rosen. She envisioned pop-up shops curated by renowned artist Daniel Arsham, exhibitions by world-famous artists like Damien Hirst and Jeff Koons, and a social scene that would attract New York's cultural elite. There was just one problem. Anna had no money, no connections, and no credibility. What she did have was something far more powerful: complete and utter belief in her own story. But how do you convince millionaires you're one of them when you're living paycheck to paycheck? Anna understood something that many people don't. In New York's elite circles, perception is reality. If you act like you belong, if you dress the part, and if you never show weakness or uncertainty, people will assume you have what it takes to be there. Anna's transformation into a socialite wasn't accidental, it was methodical. She studied how wealthy people behaved, how they talked, what they wore, and most importantly, how they spent money. She learned that true wealth doesn't flaunt itself cheaply, it's subtle, confident, and never questions the cost. Her first major test came in May 2014 at a party in Montauk. DJ LD witnessed Anna in action, describing how she bragged about her designer clothes while simultaneously asking people for a place to sleep. When everyone declined, Anna slept in a car, but she never broke character. The next morning, she was back to playing the heiress, talking about the $12,000 per month apartment she was supposedly going to rent. This became Anna's signature move, maintaining the facade no matter what. She developed what can only be described as selective amnesia about money. She would invite friends to expensive dinners, order the finest wines, and then mysteriously discover that her credit cards weren't working or that she had forgotten her wallet. But she did this with such confidence, such charm, and such apparent embarrassment that people believed it was just a temporary oversight. Anna also understood the power of scarcity and exclusivity. She didn't chase after people, she made them chase her. She would mention her trust fund casually, never going into too much detail, letting people fill in the blanks with their own assumptions. The less she explained, the more impressive her story became in other people's minds. Her relationship with art collector Michael Shufu Huang perfectly illustrates her method. When Huang mentioned attending the Venice Biennale, Anna didn't ask to come along, she wondered aloud if she might join him, making it seem like she was doing him a favor by considering it. Huang paid for her flight and hotel, expecting to be reimbursed for the $2,000 to $3,000 cost. When Anna conveniently forgot to pay him back, Huang initially assumed she was just absent-minded, because that's exactly what Anna wanted him to think. By 2016, Anna needed more than charm to sustain her lifestyle, she needed documentation to back up her claims. This is where her con moved from social manipulation to outright fraud. Using Microsoft Word, Anna created fake bank statements showing she had 60 million euros in Swiss bank accounts that she couldn't access because they were held in trust while she was in the United States. These weren't sophisticated forgeries, they were basic documents that any bank employee should have been able to spot as fake. But Anna understood something crucial about how financial institutions work. They want to make money, and when someone claims to have 60 million euros, they're willing to overlook inconsistencies if there's a chance of landing a wealthy client. Anna leveraged one connection into another, getting an introduction to lawyer Andrew Lance at the prestigious firm Gibson Dunn, who then connected her with City National Bank and Fortress Investment Group. Her fake documents were convincing enough to get her in the door, and her performance during meetings was flawless. In November 2016, she applied for a $22 million loan from City National Bank. When they asked for verification of her Swiss assets, Anna couldn't provide it, so she switched to Fortress Investment Group. Fortress agreed to consider her application if she paid $100,000 upfront for legal expenses. Here's where Anna's psychological manipulation reached its peak. On January 12, 2017, she convinced City National to grant her a temporary $100,000 overdraft facility, promising it would be repaid immediately. To support this request, she created fake email accounts for non-existent business managers, first Peter Haneke, and when that became suspicious, she claimed he had died and invented Bettina Wagner. The fact that Anna Googled "create fake untraceable email" shows that despite her sophistication, she was making amateur mistakes. But her confidence was so absolute that when a Fortress managing director noticed discrepancies in her paperwork, like claiming German heritage while her passport showed she was born in Russia, Anna simply withdrew her application rather than try to explain the inconsistencies. With $55,000 returned from the failed Fortress deal, Anna had enough money to live like the heiress she claimed to be, at least temporarily. She checked into the 11 Howard Hotel in Soho, paying $400 per night and tipping the concierge $100 for simple tasks like restaurant recommendations. This wasn't just showing off, it was strategic. Anna understood that hotel staff see hundreds of wealthy guests, and they can spot fakes quickly. By being consistently generous with tips and treating staff well, she earned their loyalty and discretion. The concierge became an ally who helped maintain her cover story. Anna made herself at home at the hotel, walking around in leggings or a hotel robe, dining at the upscale restaurant Le Coucou where she befriended chef Daniel Rose. She treated the concierge to massages and manicures, and even paid for sessions with celebrity personal trainer Casey Duke. To everyone watching, Anna looked like exactly what she claimed to be, a young heiress who had never had to worry about money. But behind the scenes, cracks were starting to show. Hotel management discovered there was no credit card on file for Anna's account. When they demanded payment of her $30,000 bill, Anna made a desperate move. She had a case of 1975 Dom Perignon champagne delivered to the staff, hoping to buy their continued cooperation. Hotel policy prevented them from accepting it, but the gesture shows how Anna tried to solve every problem the same way, with displays of wealth and generosity. By March 2017, Anna's money was running out. She began the familiar routine of inviting friends to expensive dinners and then claiming her credit cards weren't working when the bill arrived. But she was also living a genuinely glamorous life, attending dinner parties where she met Macaulay Culkin and the infamous Martin Shkreli. As Anna's financial situation became more precarious, her schemes became more brazen and more dangerous. In April 2017, she deposited $160,000 worth of fraudulent checks into a Citibank account and managed to withdraw $70,000 before the checks bounced. She immediately wired $30,000 to 11 Howard to pay her outstanding hotel bill, temporarily buying herself more time. But Anna's most audacious move was yet to come. In May 2017, she forged a wire transfer confirmation from Deutsche Bank and used it to book a charter flight to Omaha, Nebraska, claiming she was going to attend the annual Berkshire Hathaway meeting to meet Warren Buffett. The flight cost $35,390, and Anna had no intention of paying for it. This trip perfectly encapsulates Anna's psychological profile. Even as her world was collapsing around her, she was still thinking about networking opportunities and ways to elevate her status. She claimed she snuck into a private party at the Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium where she met Bill Gates, though like many of Anna's claims, this is impossible to verify. Meanwhile, the 11 Howard Hotel had reached its breaking point. While Anna was in Omaha, they changed her room entry code and put her belongings in storage. Anna's response was telling. She purchased domain names corresponding to the hotel manager's names and demanded a ransom of $1 million each. This tactic, which she learned from Martin Shkreli, shows how Anna's thinking had evolved from charming manipulation to outright extortion. Anna's downfall began with what should have been her greatest triumph, a luxurious trip to Morocco that would cement her status as an international socialite. In May 2017, Anna invited Rachel DeLoach Williams, her trainer Casey Duke, and a videographer on what she promised was an all-expenses-paid journey to Morocco. Anna claimed she needed to reset her visa status and wanted to create a documentary about her foundation. Anna booked a $7,000 per night riad at La Mamouna, one of Morocco's most luxurious hotels, complete with 3 bedrooms, a private swimming pool, and a dedicated butler. For someone who had grown up in working-class Russia, this represented the absolute pinnacle of luxury and sophistication. But Anna's credit cards were declined from the very beginning of the trip. Hotel staff demanded alternative payment, and Anna gave her usual excuses. The staff had typed in the wrong numbers, their systems were down, there was a problem with international transactions. But this time, the consequences were more serious. A hotel staff member was fired because of the payment issues. Faced with a $62,000 bill, Anna convinced Rachel Williams to pay using her work and personal credit cards, promising immediate reimbursement via wire transfer. This wasn't just asking for a small favor. Williams' net salary was less than $62,000 per year, meaning Anna was asking her friend to risk more than a year's worth of income. The psychological pressure Anna applied was intense. She didn't just ask for help, she made Williams feel responsible for the success of the trip. She acted as though the payment issues were temporary embarrassments that would be resolved momentarily, making Williams feel like she was being unreasonable for hesitating to help. Williams also paid for flights, shopping expenses, and a private tour of the Major L Garden, all on the promise of quick reimbursement. But when they returned to New York, Anna's promises proved empty. Despite repeated demands, Williams received only $5,000 back and had to borrow money from friends to pay her rent. The Morocco trip marked the beginning of Anna's complete unraveling. American Express eventually removed approximately $52,000 of the charges from Williams' credit cards, but the damage to their friendship was permanent. Williams began contacting other people who had lent money to Anna and discovered a pattern. Everyone had heard different stories about Anna's family wealth, and none of them had been repaid. This was the moment Williams realized she hadn't just been the victim of forgetfulness or temporary financial difficulties, she had been deliberately defrauded by someone she considered a close friend. Anna's behavior became increasingly desperate and erratic. She was evicted from the Beekman Hotel after accumulating an $11,518 bill, then tried the same scam at the W New York downtown, where she was evicted after just 2 days. By July 5, 2017, Anna was literally homeless. Her mask finally began to slip. She interrupted Casey Duke during a date, crying and demanding a place to stay. She tried the same emotional manipulation on Williams, who refused to help. Anna even attempted to dine and dash at Le Parker Meridian Hotel, claiming she could get a friend to pay the bill within 5 minutes when she was caught. Meanwhile, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office was building a case against Anna for bank fraud. She made one final desperate attempt at maintaining her lifestyle, depositing 2 bad checks worth $15,000 into her signature bank account and withdrawing $8,200 in cash before they bounced. Anna's arrest on October 3, 2017, was as dramatic as her lifestyle had been. She was staying at Passages Malibu, a luxury rehab facility in California. Even when facing potential prison time, Anna couldn't resist maintaining appearances. The arrest was orchestrated as a sting operation, with police officer Michael McCaffrey working closely with Rachel Williams. They convinced Anna to meet Williams at a restaurant outside the facility, where Los Angeles police arrested her as soon as she left the supposedly secure location. Anna's trial became a media sensation, not just because of the crimes she committed, but because of how she conducted herself in court. She hired a wardrobe stylist to select outfits for her court appearances, swapping her Rikers Island uniform for designer clothes. One day she wore a Michael Kors shift dress. The next day she paired a Saint Laurent top with Victoria Beckham trousers. On one Friday, she refused to enter the courtroom because she didn't approve of her jail-issued clothing. Even facing serious criminal charges, Anna was still performing the role of the sophisticated heiress. Her defense attorney compared her to Frank Sinatra, claiming both had created golden opportunities in New York through sheer force of personality. On April 25, 2019, after 2 days of deliberation, the jury found Anna guilty of 8 charges, including grand larceny and theft of services. In a pre-sentencing interview, Anna showed no remorse, saying, "I'd be lying to you and to everyone else and to myself if I said I was sorry for anything." She was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison, fined $24,000, and ordered to pay $199,000 in restitution. Ironically, most of these payments came from the $320,000 Netflix paid Anna for the rights to her story, allowing her to profit from her crimes even while serving time for them. Anna's story didn't end with her imprisonment. If anything, her notoriety has only grown. She was released on parole in February 2021 after serving nearly 4 years, but her freedom was short-lived. 6 weeks after her release, Immigration and Customs Enforcement took her into custody for overstaying her visa, and she spent 19 months in detention fighting deportation to Germany. In October 2022, Anna was granted a $10,000 bail and released to house arrest in a tiny East Village apartment, required to wear an electronic ankle monitor. But rather than lay low, Anna doubled down on building her brand. As of August 2024, she's now allowed to move freely within 75 miles of her home, giving her access to Manhattan for business ventures. In September 2024, Anna appeared on season 33 of Dancing with the Stars, wearing her ankle monitor during performances, but was eliminated in the first week along with Tori Spelling. When asked what she would take from the experience, Anna famously replied, "Nothing," maintaining her defiant attitude even in defeat. But perhaps the most bizarre recent controversy involved Anna being accused of abandoning rabbits used in a photo shoot in Brooklyn's Prospect Park in August 2025. Anna denied personal involvement and says she received hundreds of death threats over the incident, though leaked text messages from her hairstylist suggest the animals were indeed dumped after the shoot. Today, Anna continues to leverage her notoriety into business opportunities. She's working as a PR executive and influencer, has plans for a memoir, a TV show, and is building what she calls a media empire. She's even been modeling during New York Fashion Week, sporting her ankle monitor as a fashion statement. Anna Delvey's story raises uncomfortable questions about our society's relationship with wealth and status. How was someone with no money able to convince banks, hotels, and sophisticated socialites that she was worth millions? What does it say about us that we're more fascinated by her con than outraged by her crimes? Anna understood something profound about human psychology, that people want to believe in fairy tales, especially fairy tales that might include them. She gave people exactly what they wanted: the fantasy of effortless wealth, exclusive access, and limitless possibility. But here's what I want you to think about. Was Anna Delvey a criminal mastermind, or was she simply a product of a culture that values appearance over substance? Did she exploit the system, or did the system create someone like her? And most importantly, in a world where image is everything and social media makes it easier than ever to fake success, how many Anna Delveys are out there right now, building their own fake empires? What do you think? Was Anna a genius or a fraud? And in our current world of influencer culture and fake it till you make it mentality, could another Anna Delvey be operating right under our noses? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Till then, stay safe, stay informed, stay vigilant.